So now we have some interesting topics: image blurring, smoothing. So you guys are aware of what is image blurring. Image blurring refers to making the image less clear or distinct. It is done by convolving an image with a low pass filters. So what are the advantages of the blurring? Uh, Blurring help us to remove the amount of high frequency content in an image. It is generally used for before thresholding and edge detection. So, and blurring help us by reducing the detail in an image so that we can find the object that we are interested in. By blurring, low intensity edges are removed. It helps in a smoothing of the image. We will see it through examples. So what type of blurring we have? We have four types of blurring: average blurring, Gaussian blurring, median, bilateral. Everyone has its own advantages. We will see. So in average blur, what we are going to do, we are using an average filter. So this is how an average kernel looks like, normalized box kernel 2 by 2. So how can you implement the average blur? So there's a simple function, cv.blur. You will get the image and you will give the kernel size. Here I get the kernel size of 3 by 3. And this is how your result look like after doing the average blur. So what we are basically doing, suppose you wanted to reassign this pixel because you wanted to blur it. So what you are doing in the simple average blurring, that you take the kernel size. Suppose you are taking the kernel size of 4 by 2 into 2, so 4 into 4. So here we have 4 pixels. So these are the 4 values in a matrix we have. So what we will do, we will take the average of all and replace the first one by the average of all the 4. We will do it in our next iteration. This is the 4. So what we will do, we will replace this using the average of all the 4 pixels. So this is how the image will be get blurred. Okay. So this is if you increase the kernel size, the blurring will be more. And if you don't use, it will be less. So yeah, you can see the kernel size here we use is 3 by 3 and here we use is 6 by 6. So it's very easy to apply a average blurring method. It's just a one word function. Now Gaussian blurring, we have advantages of Gaussian blurring. Gaussian kernel is in this a Gaussian kernel is used. It is highly effective to remove Gaussian noise in an image. Guys, Gaussian noise is the noise which can generate while we do resizing. So in our first case, we do the resizing of the image. So you can see that we get a lot of noise. So we can use the Gaussian blurring to remove that noise. So that's why we generally used in a pre-processing stage in our machine learning or deep learning model. So if you will see any model of someone who has experience in a deep learning, so basically they use the Gaussian blurring before in their pre-processing stage. So to get rid of the Gaussian noise. Okay, I can see this one. Sir, why we have to blur our image before denoising? Basically, it's the way to denoise the image. Vivo 1970. This is how we denoise the image. Because suppose we will see it using the examples we have, and you will get the better intuition. So for the Gaussian blurring, we have this function. We have to give input image. We have to specify the kernel size. We have to specify the standard deviation also. But if you will specify 0, then it will automatically calculate it using the kernel size. So moving forward, this is how we can apply a Gaussian blurring. I use a 3 by 3 filter. So this is an input image. This is the Gaussian. This is how a Gaussian blurring looks like. And this is a Gaussian blurring looks like if you use a kernel of 5 by 5. We will see their advantages also, how they reduce the noise also. So don't worry about it. So this is the real image, guys. Okay. So suppose I added some real image. I added some Gaussian noise in it. So this is how a Gaussian noise looks like. So after applying it to through a Gaussian blurring, you will get this result. Although you can see these both results are not same. Here you can observe some noise as well, but it is far better than this if you compare both of these. So that's why we use the Gaussian blurring. Resizing, that's the point. Resizing of an image added some Gaussian noise in it. That's why we use Gaussian blurring into the processing stage. That's a very important point of an asked in an interview also. So now we have another blurring method, median blurring. Guys, understand median blurring is a non-linear digital filtering techniques, while the Gaussian and the simple is a linear. Here we are going to use a non-linear filter, and this is highly effective. The median blur is highly effective to reduce the salt and pepper noise. We will see what the salt and pepper noise. So this is same how we can implement the median blurring. We will specify median blur via function. We will specify the image and we will give the kernel size. Here we only specified the single value. Here we have to give the dimension 3x3. So that's the difference. So this is the image with a salt and pepper noise. So if you apply a Gaussian blurring, this is how a result look like. Here you can see the kernel size is 3x3. And if you apply a median blurring, this is how the image looks like. Here you can see the noise which we have in our previous in our source image. It is completely removed from the image using the median blur. So that's why we use it using. That's why we use median blur if we have a salt and pepper noise. So now I hope the one guy who asked why we have to blur our image before denoising. It's not blurring. It's basically we are denoising the image using the blurring method. Okay. Okay. Comparison between the median and Gaussian blurring method. So I will change the slide, guys. We have a good comparison. Can you see the window, guys? Type yes if you can see the image, the Chrome window. Okay, cool. So here this is a Gaussian noise, and this is a salt and pepper noise in an image. We apply a mean filter here, average filter. By mean filter, we mean the average filter. Let me zoom it. So this is how you get. And if you apply a Gaussian filter, this is the result you will get. And if you apply the median filter, this is the result you will get. So in terms of Gaussian noise, here you can observe that Gaussian filter works better as compared to median and as compared to mean. And in case of salt and pepper noise, the median filtering works better. Okay. Okay, so that is all about that thing. And this is important. In Gaussian noise, a normally distributed random value is added to each pixels, guys. And on the other hand, salt and pepper noise describe a situation where random pixel get replaced by extremely dark or bright values. So that's the difference between a Gaussian noise and the salt and pepper noise. Here, the noise in present in each and every pixels, but here the noise is not present in each and every pixel, but there are some random value we put on random pixels we put on the image. So we will move to our slide. So this is all about Gaussian blurring. Now we have Gaussian blurring and median blurring. Now we have one of the most important filter, bilateral filter. It is also non-linear, but the advantage of using it is it preserves the edge in an image. It reduces the noise, but it preserves the high frequency edge. So how you can apply it? using this simple function bilateral filter, and you need to give the input image, diameter, sigma color, sigma space, and border type. Okay, so this is how you can implement it. Bilateral blur, ing, you give the image, and here you give the diameter which you are going to use, and the sigma color and sigma spaces. So generally we use 75 into 75 for sigma value, and we can increase and decrease if you wanted to get more blurring. So this is our input image, and this is how a bilateral image looks like after applying a bilateral filtering. Here you can see the images. Here you can observe the images as well. In this image, it is not clear. We will see an example in our later stages where you can see we will use a bilateral filter to uh, to, uh, uh, to preserve the edges and array and to blur the back.